Feel free to check out my TeePublic after the video, and support me on Patreon. Watch till the end of the video for more. Dragon Ball Z, I'm sure, needs no introduction. It's one of the most beloved anime of all time and was responsible for a whole new generation of fans of the medium. Created by Akira Toriyama and being a sequel to the famous shonen classic Dragon Ball, the sci-fi action martial arts story of Son Goku and the Z Fighters battling godlike world-ending threats through time and space managed to leave behind an unfathomable legacy that remains strong to this day. It's impossible to escape Dragon Ball Z. People still talk about it and make silly memes of it on top of video games, a sequel, and movies, including a 2009 live-action film that was so good that it made Akira Toriyama return to the franchise and gave us even more movies, video games, and an alternate sequel. There was a time between 1989 and 1995 during the run of Dragon Ball Z where there would be movies that served as quick hour-long side stories to the anime. They're not canon, so one may not feel compelled to check them out, especially since the quality tends to vary among them, but once in a while they can be pretty kick-ass. And one of these films is Dragon Ball Z, the incredible Strongest vs. Strongest, better known as Dragon Ball Z Cooler's Revenge. The fifth film in this series that served as the introduction to one of the franchise's fan-favorite villains. Whereas Frieza constantly has a lust for power, Cooler is a lot more composed and actually detests how close-minded Frieza can be. He doesn't care for power as he is already stronger than Frieza due to something we'll get to later, but he comes off as a lot more straightforward, ruthless, and brutal with his demeanor, and the fact that he actually shows greater pride in his race than his brother. So basically, he's a deranged supremacist. Even though this movie isn't canon, it takes place after the Frieza saga where Goku had his iconic battle against Frieza on the exploding planet Namek. It opens with a flashback of Goku's father Bardock standing off against Frieza before he destroys planet Vegeta. I don't know about y'all, but this is kinda boring. I wonder if the English version is different. Okay, this is the greatest movie ever made. Yep, the English version of Cooler's Revenge has a completely different soundtrack from the Japanese version. Instead of music by Shinsuke Kikuchi, which is pretty good by the way, we have Drowning Pool, Dust for Life, American Pearl, Breaking Point, Finger 11, Disturbed, and Deftones. Throw in Tool and Linkin Park and you would have the perfect nu metal soundtrack. In other words, this movie is basically a 45-minute music video, or AMV if you will, and god damn is it good. I always find myself working out to the soundtrack. Anyway, while we're seeing the destruction of planet Vegeta, we're introduced to Cooler, who's looking a lot like Frieza's fourth form while he's in his first. A pretty subtle way to establish just how strong he is compared to his more famous younger brother. We see Cooler and his squad watch as Goku's escape hatch leaves the dying planet on a course for Earth. His men plan to intercept it before Cooler intervenes, telling them that he's Frieza's responsibility. And we all know how that would turn out. We then jump forward after Goku's battle with Frieza where him, Gohan, Krillin, Oolong, and Icarus go on a camping trip, only to be interrupted by Cooler and his goons after they've heard that Frieza was defeated by a Saiyan. I gotta say, this movie honestly makes for a great entry point for newcomers to Dragon Ball. Sure, it takes place almost smack dab in the middle of the story, but you get a really good idea of what these characters are like just by how they interact with one another. Plus, while some may think Cooler's Armored Squadron is a bootleg Ginyu Force, they honestly have a lot of personality that makes them interesting and unique on their own. Just think super-powered versions of the Three Stooges. Also, gotta love just how absolutely creative the action can be. After Goku gets badly damaged from one of Cooler's attacks, Gohan goes out to get some senzu beans to heal him up, but on his way back he is tracked down by Cooler's gang and suddenly Piccolo comes in and kicks some ass, before getting his ass kicked by Cooler. And now it's time for one of the coolest fights ever seen in anime, being kicked off with The Game by Disturbed. And while the fight comes to a standstill, Cooler transforms into his final form and it is just awesome.
Yes, time to die!
Yeah, now we're talking. Cooler ends up giving Goku a really good beating. Like, look here, he literally swims through Goku's Kamehameha. And after Cooler gets the upper hand, Goku finally goes Super Saiyan to Deftones change in the House of Flies, and they go at it again. Until Cooler throws a massive ball of energy at the Earth to destroy it, Goku manages to stop it and propels it back so hard that he launches it into the sun with Cooler with it. God, this movie is f***ing awesome. Cooler's Revenge is just non-stop adrenaline through and through. Got 45 minutes to spare? Definitely check it out. It's an absolute blast.
Okay, it's worth it.
Does this mean I'll get to any of the other Dragon Ball movies in the future? Maybe. Come to think of it, there's plenty of anime that could benefit from having metal soundtracks, like Fist of the North Star. Attack on Titan. Vinland Saga. Mobile Suit Gundam. K-On! Needs some metal. Alright, that's enough. And by the way, Ace Morocco and I did a little commentary track for this movie, and if you'd like to check it out and hear more of my thoughts on this film, then all you gotta do is pledge to the $5 tier on my Patreon. And if that's too much, then don't worry, there's a 10-minute supercut that pretty much gets the basic gist of it down for you non-patrons, so feel free to check that one out. And if you like what you see, then definitely consider supporting me on Patreon, where for a single dollar, your name can appear at the end of every future upload. Other than that, you can also get early access to videos, exclusive content, commissioned video requests, and receive a t-shirt of your choice from my TeePublic, like this design based on Cooler's Revenge. Once I reach enough patrons, I'll review the H-Man, the Secret of the Telegen, and the Human Vapor. So if that's something you'd like to see, then go support me on Patreon. Feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and this is TitanGoji, wishing for greater things this year.